What is up, guys? Bobgar here, and we are wrapping up our $10 Bad Rares ramp, or if you prefer, $10 Bounty of Wurms. We ended up going 4-1 technically, very technically. I think 3 out of our 5 games went to time, and we won them based on time. So it doesn't exactly feel like those were overwhelming victories in our favor. But we did technically go through 4-1. The final game, I'm actually not planning on posting. I will post all of it if people bug me to, but it was like an hour long. We both almost lost the time. It was against Turbo Fog, and it was painful for me to play. I really don't think anybody's going to want to watch it, and just in general, my editing time for these videos has been astronomical just because of how long they've been. So I'm not planning on posting that. I'm going to put some clips in right here. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? There you go there. Does he have it? Presumably he does, since he runs a million of them. Oh, maybe not. Well, hey, we got their game too. GG. Good games. Well, I won off time, but he was going to win overall. So that's the way it goes. Alright, well, I don't know if that last one counts or not. I think we would have lost, but when I'm playing terrible decks that are $3 and I know are terrible, I'll take the ones I can get. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. And now that we're back from those clips, you can see what I meant about the fact that we were probably going to lose that one. It's probably, we might have been 3-2. Maybe we would have even been 2-3. A couple of the other ones were not as clear that we would have won. Both the other 2 losses at the time, I think, seemed likely to me that we would win, but it wasn't 100% clear. So it's hard to say. The deck was better than I thought, but I think we got pretty lucky with the matchups we drew. We didn't draw a lot of aggro, which is actually what I think is really one of the stronger deck types in the current format. We also didn't draw a combo, which is basically those are the 2 strongest types. I don't think we drew really much of either. I played a single game against the zombies deck, and we actually did pretty well, but he left after 1 game, or halfway through 1 game. He conceded, and so I didn't bother posting that one either. But we didn't run into any Aetherworks Merfolk, which is that and zombies are probably the top dogs in the format right now. So yeah, let's go on and let's talk about the overperformers and underperformers real quick. Overperformers, Bounty of Luxa, Lay Claim, and Sandwurm Convergence are the ones I gave a check mark to. I think Lay Claim, I don't know if it was as good as it felt, but it felt really good, mostly just because of the few times it was like good, it was just game winning. Like, we would take their Planeswalker and we would use their Planeswalker to basically win the game, and that is a phenomenal feeling. So I really enjoyed playing Lay Claim. If I had to rebuild this deck, I would quite possibly go up to 4 Lay Claim and 4 Sandwurm Convergence. Sandwurm Convergence was a little similar. If we managed to resolve it and they didn't have an answer, just almost every time it would just take over the game. It would, trade multiple of their cards for that. Just like clearing Sandworms off the board to try to stabilize. And yeah, it just felt very good when we could actually resolve it, which we played a lot of control matchups this time, so a lot of times it got countered, but when it did finally resolve, it was really good. Bounty of Luxa is probably the weakest checkmark. I feel like it's not that much better than the other ramp. I do like the kind of mode of it gives you 2 things that I think ramp decks need. One is card draw. You can kind of run out of action at some point with a lot of these ramp decks. And 2 is obviously ramp. And, a lot of times playing a powerful threat every other turn is almost as good as, well, it's not necessarily not as good as playing a powerful threat every turn, but the fact that you're drawing through more cards means you have more opportunities to play powerful threat. So it actually almost feels more like where a ramp deck wants to be, because it kind of balances them in a good way, I think. And card draw is something that ramp decks often have a little bit of trouble getting to. But it is a little hard that it doesn't really come online until turn 5. But those were my check marks. I think Oviya was very close to getting a check mark a few times in games. That really helped us a lot. That might have been the only one that I would have been close to check marking other than those 3. Commit Memory was situationally really good. So was Alter Ego, but neither were just good all the time and felt good in hand. Then the X's. Some of these were X's because of matchups. Like, I don't think Honored Hydra is actually bad. By the way, I called it Hooded Hydra through the whole thing. I'm really sorry. I played way too much Khans of Tarkir, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. And I would correct myself, and then I would just switch back to calling it Hooded Hydra again. But yeah, Honored Hydra, I thought it was going to be pretty good in the deck, but it felt like it was countered with like Void Shatter like every time we played it, so we didn't even get to flash it back. And when we did resolve it, it was just killed, and I don't know, it just didn't end up doing much for us in any of the games. Not to say it couldn't be good, it just didn't happen to be good. So whether it deserves the X or not, I'm not sure. Weaver of Currents is just at an awkward spot. I feel like if we're going to play something like Weaver of Currents, we're just better off with Hedron Archive. Hedron Archives aren't that expensive, and yeah, they cost 1 more mana, but they don't die to removal, and you can cash them in for cards later. And we definitely had a hard time with Fumigate setting us back a lot on mana and things like that, Flying Tendrils as well. And so Weaver of Currents just at 3 mana didn't quite get the nod for me. We only played it as a 2-of because I didn't think it was going to be that good. And I think that was the big problem with it. And then finally, Spring to Mind. I actually thought this one did a lot of work for us in a lot of matchups, but I still feel like it was probably a little bit too slow and clunky for what it was. But I mean, if we can get it going, it's pretty good. Just like Bounty of Luxa is the weakest checkmark, Spring to Mind is the weakest X. It kind of is sitting more or less in the same areas as a lot of these other middling cards, like Oviya, Rashmi, Naga Vitalist, Servant of the Conduit. All those are kind of like, yeah, they were fine. They weren't exciting. They did what they were supposed to do, but they weren't game breaking, alter ego, things like that. Actually, other one that maybe I should have put an X by, although I think we got at least one person with it, was Censor. I thought Censor was really fun to have in as a 2-of for like the mind game. It made the deck spicy and interesting, but I don't think you want to be doing things on turn 2. You want to be progressing your board. You want to be playing Mana Dorks. So I think if I had to redo it, I would probably just replace Censor with a couple more Mana Dorks. I think it's probably better. Commit Memory was a little bit more useful for us, both because, like I said, the memory aspect of reshuffling your favorite into your library is actually occasionally relevant for us, and committing something on the board, since we don't have any other way to deal with stuff, again, is pretty powerful. And sometimes we'll just be able to go to commit immediately into memory and put whatever it was that was a big threat and we couldn't deal with back into their library and shuffle it immediately. So I do feel like that as a 2-of is probably about the right number. But yeah, overall the deck was fun. I think so I didn't make an improvement slide because I don't know where I would actually go with this in terms of improving it without changing the whole deck. I think adding white for removal can make a lot of sense. I think adding a pull from tomorrow, which actually I think would still be in budget, maybe 2 pull from tomorrows would make a lot of sense over something like Spring to Mind or Censor. I think, like I said, going up to 4 lay claims at least, because lay claim, even in the matchups where it's bad, you can just cycle it, and the matchups where it's good, it just ends up being ridiculously good. And probably up to 4 Sandwurm Convergence too. I like that card a lot. Maybe down 1 or all of the Hooded Hydras. They're good, but they could easily like be sideboarded in matchups where you really need trample. I mean, it's not like that's that common a situation. Like I said in the intro, it's good against like Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. If she keeps putting in plant tokens, you can just kind of trample over them and not have to worry about it. But and I guess it's good against some of the other planeswalkers too. Gideon also makes tokens, obviously, so it's good in cases where you just need to hit through and they're hiding behind a wall of little dudes. But overall, it felt a little weak most of the time. I mean, it does have the advantage too, where it's only 6 mana, but I don't know. I think that's one where I'm less convinced about. And so that's basically the deck for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and as always, I will see you next time. And also, I should add, please feel free to give me feedback on the deck and give me feedback for the kinds of things you would like to see from me. Do you want to see more standard? Would you rather go back to modern? I was considering doing some Pauper videos too. I don't know if I would do them as $10 decks, because almost every Pauper deck is a $10 deck, it feels like. I guess that's not true anymore. They've gone up in price a lot since I started playing Pauper. But yeah, what do you guys want to see? Are there any specific decks or things you'd like to see? Or do you like the janky, silly ones like this more, or the ones that are actually like trying to be competitive? Or I'm here to serve you guys and make interesting content for you. So if there's anybody out there that has opinions on these things and would like to see something specific, please let me know. I will absolutely do my best to accommodate. Alright, see you guys later. Hey guys, Bobgar here. I just really wanted to quickly say, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you enjoy my content in general and would like to see more of it, subscribe. I'll be coming out with more content in the future. And please leave me comments and let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, both in terms of production and in terms of my play and my deck building and all that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.